Yo, salute, man. Y'all already know what it is, man. This is the Virility Kings podcast. This is actually the first episode. So gonna go ahead and give a round of applause for the first episode, man, of the Virility Kings podcast. We're definitely gonna dig deep and get into some good stuff. As y'all can see, the title says the importance of masculinity. So this is a big deal. I think we lost my man Bryan. It's all good. It's all good. He might have dropped out, but I'm sure he'll come back. So that's what this episode is about. This episode is about the importance of masculinity. All right. And as y'all can see, I got my man Tony Magnum in the building. Salute, man. Introduce yourself to the people, Tony Magnum.
Hello, America. Hello, world. I am Tony Magnum. It's my Instagram little handle. And basically, I'm just a friendly neighborhood gym rat. I've been pumping iron for 17 years. Little background, I did serve in the Marine Corps. I was a correction officer. I bounce. I do other security work. And so the element of being that enforcer and a designated person of masculine energy, I've been doing that all my life. And I think I have a little 2 cents, a little something to share with the young cats out there so they can walk in more masculine energy as we step through this more feminized world.
Facts. And I love how you said that, man. Like real talk, guys. This world is becoming highly feminized. And Tony, he's a beast, man. Go check out his Instagram, man. I'm telling you, this man is strong as hell. As you can already see, he's big as shit. You know, he could easily put dudes on their neck, if need be. But Tony Mag, man, he's definitely in the building, and yeah, he's a beast, man. So that's why, that's one of the reasons why I brought him on. I like the videos and the content that he talks about on his Instagram. That was one of the things that really made me think, like, yo, yeah, I like his mindset and his mind frame in terms of men and masculinity. So, hey, there we have it, man. We got my man Tony Mag, and here go Bryan. I think Bryan, yeah, I'm about to add Bryan, and Bryan is also the other co-host, guys. And I think he kind of slipped out for a minute, but I'm about to add him back in real fast. And then we're going to get this thing popping, man. I'm going to have him introduce himself to y'all so y'all can know who he is. And then we're going to be good money. Let me see. All right, Bryan, we got you back, bro.
My bad. Technical difficulties.
It's all good, man. It's actually perfect timing, man, because you can go ahead and introduce yourself to the people. You know what I'm saying? Let the people know who you are and what's up with you.
All right, basically, full name Bryan Alexander Garibay. You can find me at Evolving Herbivore on Instagram. Basically, I carry myself really well. I treat others with respect, and I have a lot of love for everybody. That's basically it, my guy.
And that's powerful, bro. Like, having a lot of love for everybody is a very masculine thing. You know what I'm saying? I think that's one of the biggest misconceptions about masculinity. They try, a lot of, societal standards try to kind of take love out of it and kind of make it seem like, if you have a lot of love, it's not very manly. But nah, that's very manly. That's actually, I think, one of the foundations of masculinity is love, because it's something to live for. It's something to thrive, a thriving energy. And it's one of the top energies. Love is, the top energy. So
At a high frequency. Yep.
Facts. So I'm glad, listen, man, I'm glad to have both of you guys on the show with me, man. This is the second season, so I know we're going to dig deep and get into some good stuff. So I appreciate y'all for joining me, man, with this and with this panel. And we're going to dig deep. I ain't going to waste no time. It ain't no sense to waste no time. We're going to go ahead and get into it. So, all right. So the title is The Importance of Masculinity. I'll start it off, guys. I think masculinity is so important that if there's an absence of masculinity, that's toxic. That's toxic. I think that the absence of masculinity is toxic. And I think that's why a lot of situations are toxic. I think that's a lot of reasons why, especially with me growing up, with a single parent, my mom, she tried her best, you know what I'm saying? But just not having that stern masculine energy coming from a man in a household, a lot of toxic things came from that and out of that. So me personally, I feel like that's one big thing about masculinity and why it's important, because without it, man, it's just toxic. I think that masculinity is, for one, a grounding energy. I think that masculinity is pretty much foundational and the base and strong and represents strength in any given situation. And masculinity to me too is like very self-soothing and self-sustaining. So, we bring all those types of elements in one. If you take that out of situations, that's terrible. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just feel like it's just, you're going to have a madhouse. I feel like if you don't have masculinity in situations, in relationships, in whatever, shit just goes chaotic. You know what I'm saying? So, most importantly, I just feel like that's the reason why there's a lot of issues. That's the reason why people grow up with a lot of issues because of the absence of masculinity. So that's what I think, man. What you think about that, Tony? Like, what's your idea about the importance of masculinity?
A lot of what you just said basically is what I would say: the discipline, the structure, the foundation, and let me just stretch it into like the feminine perception of it right now. And unfortunately, it's been dumbed down to basically men are only good for fucking and fighting, and that's just sad to look at of us, the men, the warriors, the not caretakers, but as we protect the nations, we're the ones used for that, and then we have been taken advantage of, and that's all we are, fucking and fighting. And then females think they could do exactly the same thing. They fucking fight and it's all that chaos. So the masculine energy is about the order. So it's about that balance, the yin and yang type deal. And I'll wrap up with this, something I call the Mufasa policy. You know how we got the Lion King, right? Where Simba, Mufasa teaching him about the stuff. He says, don't go to the elephant graveyard. Simba goes to the elephant graveyard because he's trying to show off for a little thing Nyla, right?
Yeah.
So then the hyenas show up. There's trouble right there. He runs away and everything, but Mufasa ends up saving him. So the lesson that was to be learned on that was when Mufasa told Simba, "I'm only brave because I have to be. Being brave doesn't mean you go looking for trouble." So that's what young men and men need to know, is when to pull that card, when it's time to put that foot down, when is it time to fight? Is it in self-defense, or am I just flying off the handle because I've been disrespected, dog? So to learn that, it is very important.
Facts, man. Well said, bro. I 100% agree with you,
Said
bro.
Tony.
Like, 1,000%, man. Brian, bro, what you think, man? What's your view on that?
A lot of what y'all just said too, foundation, structure, order, discipline, like all of that falls into that category of masculinity. Can't have no business, no order, no structure without masculinity. I feel like nowadays a lot of men are missing calm, assertive energy. Not they don't have that calmness but assertiveness to them. You know what I mean? It's
Yes.
almost like a fight or flight situation. Like they just want to feel or prove that they have something to prove all the time. So I feel like that's kind of like what you don't want to be a part of. You want to be more of the masculinity, more order, more structure, more calm, assertive energy. You want to make sure that you're assertive with certain situations, because if not, you're going to get taken advantage of. And I feel like we don't want to get taken advantage of.
Oh yeah, man. Well said, man. Definitely. I totally agree with that. That, that concept where you're grounded and, you can control yourself. Like, that is, man,
Yeah,
I think that's like the
I think
top
that's mainly
trait
it.
of
Controlling
masculinity.
yourself,
Controlling self, being able
having that
to,
self-control.
exactly.
Being able to
Self-control and,
stay calm in stressful situations. Somebody's in your face just talking
Exactly.
mad crap. Let me see. He's not putting his hands on me. He's not threatening my money. So just let him yap.
Yeah.
facts. I totally agree with that. And that's one of the biggest things. I think a lot of guys get it mixed up, just like you were saying earlier, thinking that, hey, if I respond to this person erratically, choke slam them through the cement, I'm masculine. And it's like, the aspect of being strong enough to really do some shit like that would be considered masculine because it's, you're exercising your strength. You know what I'm saying? You're exercising your strength. That is a masculine thing. And that's really meant to protect. It's really meant to serve. It's really meant to, protect and to work and to, build. But, a lot of guys get it messed up. They thinking, oh man, that's how I express my masculinity. It's about the littlest thing that somebody says. I respond with that type of aggression and hurt somebody. But really, that is feminine because you don't know how to control your emotions. You don't know how to uh, think logically before you act. You're actually allowing your emotions to lead you. That's not masculine at all. And I totally agree with that. We actually got a question in the chat too, guys. And I meant to say that, tell y'all too. You can do it next time or now, however y'all want to go about it. But if you pull up the video on YouTube, y'all can see the chat line too. So that's for your own preference. If you guys decide you want to do that. But I'm gonna go ahead and get
Okay.
to one of these chats. We got a chat on here. His name is Shabam Sethi. He said, "That's some psychological approach to masculinity. How about the biological part of it?" So that's a good question.
Okay.
That's a very good question, and I'm gonna go ahead and respond to
Yeah,
him
that
real
is a
quick
good
on that one.
question.
So in terms of the biological part of it, if you mean like literally how we are biologically born in a sense of masculinity, if that's what you're talking about, I think that that's my own personal opinion. I think that when we're born males, we're all, born with those masculine traits naturally. Even as a child. I mean, obviously it's not going to be full grown force like a grown man, but I'm just saying, like like the infantry or like the the beginning stages of masculinity. We're all born with that, and I think that in that sense, it all comes from a natural space in gender. You know what I'm saying? Like if you're a man, you're gonna walk more in the masculine stage. You know what I'm saying? If you're a woman, you're gonna probably walk more in the feminine stance. Even as a child, like I could look at my daughter, right? Both of my daughters. I got two daughters,
Oh,
and and they're young, man. You know what I'm saying? Beautiful girls. But I remember like seeing my 3-year old back when she was like 1.5 switching. And she's only 1.5. And she's switching, you know what I'm saying? And she bending her hand, that limp hand, that women usually do. These are natural feminine traits, and like, her and then my other daughter, she's 1.5, and she do it too. She do these little feminine things. Now they could be learning from their mom too, but y'all feel where I'm coming from. I think it's
right.
very natural. I think it's very biological. That's why a lot of kids end up having some of these signs. So I mean, if that's what you mean, Shabam, I mean, I don't know if that's what you were looking for, but if you want, clarify your question a little more for me. Well, what do y'all think about that? Like in the sense of biological? Well, Tony, what you think, Tony?
Biological. Me being a country bumpkin myself, I'm just going to go straight forward.
Yeah.
Men have a penis, women have a vajayjay. So, and also
Right.
we do have men who are more feminine. They kind of fit that role, and we do have women who are more masculine. It's kind of like a random crapshoot when it comes to what you actually get slated with. We have to accept that. And the main thing is when it comes to men versus women, men are not born. I guess it goes back to psychological. We're made. So we have to get shown how to be men and what it means to be a man, as in that future leader. It's not about being the boss, or I get to tell everybody what to do. It's about being the leader when you set the example. So if you fall, that next man is ready to pick it up because we need to protect and defend societies. So I think under appreciation of men are supposed to, I'm doing it lightly, men are supposed to do this and women are supposed to do that. A lot of that's got muddied, and that's why we're in the confusion that we're in right now.
Totally agree, man. That's a powerful view. And straightforward, yeah. Dick and balls, pussy. You know what I'm saying? Like straight up. And no, seriously, like scientifically, like that. I mean, it is what it is. Like the baby, we start off neutral. You know what I'm saying? And then as time progresses, we either the chromosomes either go in more of a female or a male direction, and the penis either shows or it don't. When they check to see if the baby's a man or a girl or a boy, they're looking for the penis. You know what I'm saying? Start off like a hamburger. It looked like a hamburger to them at first. They're like, all right, it still looks like a hamburger. And then boom, something start peeking through. That's a man right there. You know what I'm saying? So like, I totally agree. So all right, Brian, what you think about that, bro?
I mean, basically, y'all basically nailed it on the head. I mean, what was there to be confused about on the biological side? I mean, the only other thing I can think of is the environment you were raised in, right? Because that really defines like what type of man you carry yourself as or what type of woman you carry yourself as. But we're talking about masculine energy. So obviously it's what type of man you carry yourself as in the environment you surround yourself with or who you were raised by.
Yes.
Facts. Man, I totally agree with that, man. And I mean, even though, that's more environmental, it definitely plays a huge part in that. Um,
I
Another
still
thing that
feel
just
like
hit my,
we learned something. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
it's all good. It's all good. You got it, bro. Go ahead.
I was just saying I feel like we do have some venom energy in us because we all have that yin and yang in us, right? We were all both born like with that energy from our parents, correct?
Yeah,
So I'm thinking we still have some feminine energy, right? Because that still makes us humane.
yeah.
So I still feel like there's a percentage that men carry, like it could either be like 50, 50-50 where you're down the middle. You feel like you're half masculine, half feminine. And I feel like that's where the environment plays the role.
Hmm. That makes total sense, man. I feel you on that. I think, me personally, especially since what I teach and like what I stand for, I teach about hormones and like, men increasing testosterone naturally, how to lower estrogen. I think the hormones in our body biologically really, really sets the tone in terms of, some of the characteristics that we're gonna have in terms of masculinity and femininity too. Because I've actually seen it with
Yeah,
guys and clients that I've had. Like, I help
yeah,
guys naturally boost testosterone, right? So I'll get guys to go get blood work done. I'm like, all right, go get your blood work done. Bring me back your results. And some of the guys that deal with like man boobs, gyno, a lot of stomach fat, a lot of fat in like love handles area. Guess what? Their estrogen is a lot higher than normal. And I also see in some men,
Well, that
that the testosterone. It's crazy, bro. It's crazy. Like when I realized that, I'm like, damn, this shit really boils down to like testosterone and estrogen in humans, and that's where a lot of these traits come from too. And I didn't think about it, but that's biological. That's within the body, and so I think that plays a major part in the traits that a man is going to show or a woman. If a man has more estrogen, he's going to be highly estrogenic. He's going to personify those types of traits. I think.
quick point on that. My little cousin, he's raised by a lot of females in his household, unfortunately, and
Mm-hmm.
he does have a lot of the boobage coming in. He's only like what 14, 15. It's like wow, that's crazy. And I'm already thinking it's a lot of that feminine energy he's around. But but unfortunately, he's not my responsibility. So good luck to him.
Facts, and that's another thing too. Like that's a big thing. Who you're raised up around. Like I know some dudes,
yeah,
right? It's gonna trip y'all out, but I know some guys that's really like about that life. Like I used to. It might be hard for y'all to believe, but I really had like a rough past. I used to be in the streets. You know what I'm saying? Did all types of stuff, sold drugs. Was in the gang banging, all that crazy stuff. Right? I woke up thankfully, but it was some dudes that really had like some feminine traits and like would kind of act a little feminine, right? But then you go to their house and my man got like 5 sisters and his mom is raising all 6 of them. There ain't no dude in the household. And I think he was like the second, you know what I'm saying? One guy in particular. It's clear he was being raised up by around a whole bunch of women and he probably was just copying them. He probably just was,
yeah,
following that model because hey, this is my mom, these are my sisters. I love them. I trust them. They're my tribe. So I think a lot of guys end up walking in more feminine tendencies from environment, just like y'all saying. That's how they
yeah.
probably was raised. You know what I'm saying? So many aspects to that, but that's very interesting. That's pretty deep. But yeah, so now we're gonna kind of switch it a little bit. We're gonna kind of go into some more specific areas with this whole masculinity thing. So toxic masculinity. I'm gonna let y'all do y'all thing first, and then I'll follow up after y'all, right? So Tony Mag, man, what you think about what's your view on toxic masculinity? What do you think about that?
Toxic masculinity is the lack of masculinity, as you said before. Um, the idea it is a We have been raised to be men, and we have to accept this if we're really going to have this pushback and bring the return of masculinity. We have to accept that we've been raised to be men under a feminine lens. Hence my cousin, your buddy from back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and so when it comes to toxic masculinity, it's more of how the general female views men fucking and fighting. So if that's all we're about and just running through women left and right, oh, they're toxic. And we're also called toxic when we actually stand firm. Because so the idea of what masculinity is supposed to be is just all demonized as toxic. And again, that's where the feminine push of our society is going. Anytime you try to be manly or you try to set the tone, hey, this is what we need to do for the better outcome. Oh, you're just being toxic, and oh man, I'm actually deemed the most toxic person in my current workplace. And I put that on the post one day, and they were like, "How do you think that's a good thing?" I'm like, "Well, because I'm the one who shows up to work. I don't bring any drama. I'm more dependable than everyone else. So if they deem me as being the toxic guy for doing the job right and having the balls to rise to the situation, I'll take that hit. So if you are
Mhm.
walking in a positive masculine way, it's just words at that point. Whatever. That's how you want to describe it. That shows a reflection on you.
Powerful. I totally agree. And I mean, it's women who's saying that. You know what I'm saying? It's coming from a feminine place. So like women, you don't hear men going around like, oh, that's toxic masculinity. Like it's a woman thing. So of course it's gonna come from that type of stance. So I totally agree on that, man, for sure. What you think, Brian? What's your view?
Definitely I feel like the drama, running through females. I feel like not being a man of your word, your balls and your word. You know what I mean? I feel like all of that plays a huge part. You know what I'm saying?
For sure. Yeah, man. I totally agree, y'all. I agree with y'all, man.
Honestly, I don't personally like kicking around toxic people, so I don't even try to be around that environment. So I don't really know a whole lot about it. But I just know that I ain't trying to be around drama. I ain't trying to be around no fuckboy shit. And then I feel like another thing, a lot of people, they're talking themselves up nowadays and they're not really doing it. That's a lot of
All
toxic
talking, no
bullshit.
action,
Yep,
because they
that's
care more
that's a
about the
lot of
image.
toxic bullshit right there.
They care more about the image than the actual. Okay, how am I moving? What am I getting? The results. You want just make everybody think that you're maybe Billy Badass or you got X amount of money and shit like that. What are you doing?
Yep.
Exactly. Actions
What
speak
are you
louder than
actually
words.
doing?
Facts. Facts. You always gonna be the fruit. You want to see where somebody's heart is. Look at their fruit. You know what I'm saying? That's something that I believe. You know what I'm saying? I read. I mean, I ain't gonna get religious on here, nothing like that. But I've read the Bible and I read the Bible, and like that's a big thing. Like if you want to know, somebody's heart, look at their fruits. What fruits do they bear? You know what I'm saying? What's the result of what they're doing? And I totally agree with all y'all, with both of y'all on that, man. Like that's a fact. And
Well
me
said. Well said,
personally,
Scrat.
for sure. And then like toxicity, when we think about like for me, when I think about masculine and toxicity or masculine toxicity, whatever, toxic masculinity, I think that it comes from a misunderstanding of what masculinity is. So I think a lot of women have an idea of what they think masculinity is, and that definition is toxic masculinity. Like I think that a lot of women just was going around talking to each other about it, started stirring this up, and the women talked, and it just became this definition. And a lot of these things that women complain about isn't really masculinity. They say like, "Oh, I think because I put a post up, I should put it up. I should pull it up right now, but I put a post. You know what? I'm gonna go
I'm
ahead
gonna
and
do
do
it
it.
right
Hopefully, I
now.
can do it. Yeah, I'm gonna do it now, man, because it wouldn't be right if I didn't do it because this is perfect for what we talking about. But I just did a post on there, and I pretty much just wanted to know what women thought. Like, yo, if a man is, what I said was, is if a man is too toxic, is there such thing as a man being too toxic? Why? If so, why? And if not, why not? And I just want to pull it up real quick, just kind of show y'all what some of these women were saying. And it just goes to show, like, yo, this is where this idea is coming from. It's coming from the misunderstanding of masculinity from women. They think that they know what it is, but what they identify it as isn't really true, authentic, real masculinity. It's this fake, fraudulent, like I'm gonna pull it up so that we can dig a little deeper. But what y'all think about that though?
Fake and fraudulent. I think that's the strong point right there. Because again, like we were saying about, it's the image. You care more about how others perceive you, but you don't want them to notice what you're actually doing. And that is a feminine trait, and it's been polluted, and that's why a lot of men just want to be loud and obnoxious when it's not necessary. Or two, where a lot of women just want you to just listen to the narrative, listen to this. Don't worry about me being on the carousel, riding the cock carousel all day. Don't pay attention to that, my body count. What? Just listen to the narrative. I'm a pretty little princess. Nah. I see what you.
Facts. The biggest
Oh,
thing.
that's so
It
sad,
is.
Tony.
It's all narrative. I think it's all narrative, yo. Like I think that is the main like point of it. They, especially when it's coming from women, they don't they and I mean they don't mean, I don't think they mean any harm, but like they don't want to have to take accountability for the biggest issues that they bring to the table. So they gotta find something about the man and the way we present ourselves to kind of even the score so that they'll feel more better about themselves. That's my personal opinion, you know. So I think that's where this whole they find things that has nothing to do with masculinity and just kind of place it on masculinity. Like, oh, see, that's toxic because you're doing that, but it ain't masculinity. It's just toxic behaviors. Can y'all see it? Yeah, y'all can see it. All right. So I'm gonna pull this post. Oh, and we got some comments too. Let me see. Okay, my man Dom. Salute Dom. Dom is in the building. Let me see. Cool J, too saucy. Guys love you. Know that. Facts. I believe that. I believe God love everybody. That's my belief. Salute. Dom, he said, I remember seeing the post on Facebook actually. Yeah, my boy Dom, man, he seen that post. Yeah, I think he even liked it. Salute KC. KC in the building. All right, so I'm gonna pull that up real quick. So, yeah, y'all can see the screen right now. Right? Y'all can see it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm gonna find this post real quick. I don't want to take too much time on this, but I just feel like it's perfect timing. Like this post goes perfect with that. Man, whatever. Post up so much shit. I gotta slow down. Here we go.
Want to change locations real quick? Don't mind me.
All right. So maybe I could throw it on there. Okay, boom. So yeah, now it's just focusing on the screen. Everybody can see the screen. All right, so
Yeah.
So pretty much here was my post. And pretty much I said, I was like, yo, so what ladies would want to be a part of my, oh no, shit, y'all, my bad. My bad, Joe, this ain't the right one. Hold up. I got y'all. Look at how unprepared I am. That's me all day. All right. Here we go. All right, so it says, ladies, is too much masculinity in a man a turnoff to you? If yes, why? If no, why? So, in my own personal opinion, guys, I don't believe that there's a such thing as too much masculinity. I just said that on purpose because I knew that would grab women's attention. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So, I pulled that up. Hold on, let me open up these comments. There we go. All right. My internet doing pretty good today, too. I'm thankful for that. All right. So here go a good one. So this girl Coco, she was like, yes, right? So I'm like, expound, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, expound, please, I'm interested. So she was like, I like for a man to be masculine and protective, but you pipe that down at home and around your women and kids. Some men be too tough or don't know how to balance emotions and ego. Now, she made a good point. There are some men that don't know how to balance their emotions and ego, and they go wild. But for me, I'm like, yo, first and foremost, there's no such thing as a man being too tough. I don't think. Like, I don't think, what y'all think? Like, I don't think that there's a such thing of a man being too tough. Maybe too rough with a woman, maybe being rough with her, but like too tough as a man,
Yeah.
I don't think there's a such thing.
I think that does need some clarification what she means by too tough. But if she does appreciate a masculine man, the being an authority and being the basically the head of the household, that's something to respect. I'm not saying that he needs to go ahead and yank you by your hair and pull you over this way, bitch, get this damn dishes done. I'm not saying that, but I am saying like, hey, if he's taking charge, that he's being a man. And if you want that type, if you want a masculine man, let the man be the man.
Facts. Totally agree. And I pretty much told her, I was like, I said, I understand your perspective. It makes sense. I was like, this is why I made the post, though. I think a lot of women, may have the wrong idea concerning masculinity. Like men being too tough or not knowing how to balance emotions, that's not masculine. If a man can't balance his emotions, he's not a masculine man. A lot of women, I feel like a lot of women fall into that place. And I've even been there myself. So I'm not judging any of these men because of the things that I've experienced in my life. I definitely struggled with balancing my emotions at one point. So yeah, I can't judge any of these guys, but at the same time, I understand it. You feel me?
Right. 'Cause I'll admit, I was a more violent, headstrong young man back in the day. Well, all that disrespect talk, it was like, okay, I'm closing the distance. What we going to do? And usually I'm the first one to freaking punch someone. When I realized that was being used against me, I had to back off and I had to learn, you know what? These little chumps right here just want to make me react so they could come cry to whatever big daddy entity. So I learned my lesson from that.
Facts. You got anything you want to say about that, Brian? I don't want to skip over you because I know it's a delay, so I don't want to skip over.
No, you're good. I definitely believe. I don't know. I think especially over the years, intellect over emotion. Anyway, on my part, I like thinking things through and making sure that it's going to be the right thing, rather than just leading with only emotion and feeling like overwhelmed or whatever the case is when you're going through your emotion. But I definitely feel like if you don't balance your energy, like you said, Superman, you're not a man. You don't know how to control yourself. You're kind of just all over the place, and that's emotional imbalance. I feel like that's healthy.
Totally
one
agree.
last note on that. A lot of these men, I know women would complain about men who act that way, but one thing I will never let women get away with, well, a lot of these men are raised in these single mother homes. Where did they learn that behavior?
Bingo.
Mm-hmm.
That's where I learned it. That's exactly where I learned it. And I love my mother to death. You know what I'm saying? I killed my mom. I killed somebody over my mom, right? But I learned a lot of feminine traits from my mom. And that's why like I had to. It's funny, like what you was just saying, Tony. You said before, you was the first one to knock somebody out or punch them in the face. I was too. But then you started to learn and you started to realize like, yo, hold up, what's really going on here? I think that is like the essence of masculinity, awareness. Like start becoming aware of yourself and starting to realize and your surroundings and starting to realize like, okay, I need to move differently to get a different result here. I think that is masculine.
Facts.
Because I think a lot of women, in my own personal opinion, I think that's the difference. Not to say that women don't do that, but the majority of women do not stop and think logically about things. I hate to say it, but the majority of them, they are pretty much moved by their emotions and they usually react. So I totally agree with y'all, man. I totally agree with y'all for sure. Okay, real quick, Dom, he said a comment. He said they had a big misconception of what masculinity is. Yeah. Talking about that post that I put up. Yeah, a lot of those chicks, they had a misconception. One chick got on there and she actually was saying some stuff that really made sense. I think those are the women who embrace their femininity. I'm telling y'all, man, there's nothing more attractive than a woman that embraces her femininity. And once you get that type of balance or you get that type of woman around you, the potential is limitless at that point. And I think that's when we can really exercise our masculinity and make something awesome and amazing and beautiful. So, yeah. Even though this is about, getting men, encouraging men to embrace their masculinity, shoot, I want to encourage women to embrace their femininity too. Shit. You know what I'm saying? If we kill two birds with one stone, boom, we'll have a better, the world will be a better place. That's my personal opinion. All right, y'all. So we're gonna move along. So the next bullet point, and we got another comment. I'm gonna go over this comment real quick before we move on. All right, Michael Davis. He said, "Take note of the great men in history." He said David exercised restraint in his dealing with King Saul. That is masculinity. Facts. Hey, if you guys know biblical, if y'all know the Bible in any way, shape, or form, yes, King David definitely was a masculine man. Especially in essence, I actually can recall a part in the Bible when King David, he could have easily killed King Saul. Like he literally, while King Saul was asleep, King David, well, before he was the king, he went in there, he was right at King Saul's head. He could have killed him, but he chose to actually walk away. You know what I'm saying? So that's a powerful gem to kind of throw out there. What's up, Brian? You about to say something?
I was just saying that's deep.
Yeah, man. For sure, for sure. All right, y'all. So we're going to move along. Okay, and Dom, he said King David was very grounded. Yeah, for sure. That guy, man, reading about him, I think that he probably had a great balance. Because, there's no such thing as a man being 100% masculine, y'all. Let's just be realistic here. You know what I'm saying? We're going to have a little femininity because we're human beings. Because we got estrogen in our in our body. You know what I'm saying? But I think he probably had a perfect balance in terms of that. Just the way that he presented himself, talents, gifts. He was very musical, talented, entertaining, strong, brave, courage. But the list goes on with that guy. He was awesome. But anyway, all right, y'all. So the next thing is masculinity and relationships concerning work, business and relationships. What's the importance with that, y'all? With y'all, what you think about that, Tony? Like masculinity in these different areas and places. I'm definitely gonna start with you, Tony, because of your current situation.
Masculinity in the workplace. Let's start off at the basics. Let's say you put in a job application to McDonald's. They hire you. You're hired there to run the fries. Being in a masculine mindset, you are there to do the fries. That's your role. You accept that role and you do the best of your ability. That's being masculine. You may not be the top rank. You may not be the one in charge calling the shots, yada yada. But you know your role, and you do the best until they find somebody better. But that's the element of competition of masculinity too. You make sure that they do not fucking replace you because you making the best fries. So so that's the kind of the conflict going on in my little workplace right now. I got a person who's being one of those loud ass false alphas who has to make everyone believe he's the big Billy badass of the group. And here I am being my big old lovable self, just sitting in the back chilling. Oh yeah, he's got to pick me out. How dare you be bigger than me? but rather than I don't know, checking his emotions, he wants to just do that little false friendly poking the bear shit, and then eventually I do get a little pissed off, back the fuck off, and gave him the same energy that he gave me, and all of a sudden, oh, you ain't got to be disrespectful. The motherfucker, you kidding me? So there I
Funny how that just switches quick.
Right?
Yeah.
All that mess about you only playing because I wouldn't mess with you if I didn't like you. If you like me, give me food. That's a simple way. If you want to show that you like someone, man, woman, whatever, you gift them. Talk about what their interests are. That's how you be friendly. And bring it back to just a workplace. It's okay to develop interpersonal relations with your coworkers, but more than likely you're coming into a place with strangers. Everyone has their own goals and own agenda about the workplace. Respect that. So keep it polite, keep it professional, but keep it moving. When y'all clock out, go the fuck home. You go back home to your people. And I don't know. I think it shows a sign of weakness that you come to a workplace to make friends. I even say that about the gym. You go there to make friends. But that's it. That's it.
Man, I totally agree with that, man. I totally agree. I don't think it's anything wrong with making friends in these different environments, but if that's like your sole purpose when you go there, it's like, yo, You're supposed to be here to do what you got to do your job. You're supposed to be here to get that work in when you're in the gym. You're supposed to be in there getting gains. You're supposed to be focused on your personal development at the gym. Like, so I totally agree with that. Yeah, people, if that's their sole purpose of why they're at work, and that's the biggest, greatest thing to them about work, yeah, it's like, yo, you need to get your priorities right. But
Man, I said that low key several times. Like, dude, you're supposed to be married and you got kids and whatnot. Why you over here fucking around with me? I'm 34 years old and a stranger. What the fuck? But that's
exactly.
but that's me being nice. Stop.
Hey, better nice than kill somebody, right? You know what I'm saying? Shoot, but yeah. So I totally understand that, dog, and that's a great, awesome point, bro. Like for sure. What you think, Brian? What as far as the workplace, business, relationships, how important is masculinity there?
Oh, so super important. Like Tony was saying, like you got to make sure that you staying in line, you staying focused, and you doing what you got to do. I think if you're not staying focused, what are you doing? Are you even doing your job? So I feel like that's a huge point. And then to accountability, and man, I feel like not a lot of people want to take accountability for showing up, not being late, not wanting to do their job. It's just tiring. Like it's almost exhausting. Like to hear it all the time. And if you would just show up, do your job, clock out, everyone would be happy. No one would be talking about you, and everybody would have a great ass fucking day.
Right, but you made it sound so easy. How dare you, sir? It is 2021.
He did. He did. If people would just view it that way and think that way, man, the world would be a better place. Like if more people we don't have to necessarily be 100% logical, but if we just thought more in logic concerning very important things, I think the world would be a better place. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
And honestly, that kind of segue
Yes,
into
sir.
my what I think, about masculinity and the importance of it in business, relationships, and work. I think the logical aspect of it. I think that man, us being able to like highlight and bring out that portion, you know what I'm saying, of situations, interactions, um, what is it? Like getting into fights, you know what I'm saying? Getting into it with people. If we can view the logic of it, I think it'll help us resolve issues a lot more sooner and quicker. And I think that's why masculinity is very important. Masculinity, I think, is that energy that'll come in like when it's very crazy in the environment, it's going crazy. That masculine energy comes in like boom. You know what I'm saying? Stop. You know, calm down. Like the person that's going to break up some shit, they're usually the very masculine individual that's in a situation. Especially if a man is willing to go forward and go in between a fight and break that shit up. And if it works, that is masculine energy right there.
A
You
quick
know?
story about the same workplace. Two guys, they were already butting heads a lot because one dude is one of these slow characters who don't know when to stop. So he hit the guy kind of like a rough pat on the back. Hey, what's up, man? Just being stupid. But the other guy,
Mm-hmm.
he already told me how he had enough of him. So he turned around, popped him on his chest. What's up with you? So we're
Mm-hmm.
seeing this close to distance situation, and me, maybe it's a kudo point to my masculinity, whatever. But it's like, all right, we're done here. I grabbed the one guy who had to come partner up with me. Hey, we're going to the truck. Let's go. Let's go. I grabbed him by his arm. We're moving. He's trying to pull back. I said, we're moving. Let's go.
Mm-hmm.
And just nah. I'm like, I pull that dude
Yeah.
away. We're done. We're not talking about it. We're gonna keep moving.
Yeah. Yep.
And he had to listen. He had to adhere to it because you was moving in that masculine energy. Like y'all ever have y'all now we all men on this episode. Have you ever found yourself in a position, right, where you were very stern, very confident about something and very adamant about it and people actually like listened to you and like observed and like pretty much did what you were saying do? Have y'all ever been in positions like that?
Go ahead, Brian. You take this one.
Yeah, Brian. Yeah, that's right. I should say specifically, but yeah, Brian.
Oh, you're good. I haven't a couple of times. Just I mean, I feel like it's those people that are lost that come to you. You know what I'm saying? That are trying to find their ways. And I feel like those people listen to you more because you're carrying that assertiveness, that that masculine trait, that assertive energy to where what I'm saying. You've done it. Either you've done it before or you know that it's going to work. So I feel like that's what it is.
Facts. What about you, Tony?
Um, okay, I guess my claim to fame, big talking right there, is my gym work. So when people talk to me about the gym, they they listen to me. They want to hear my opinion because of my physique, and obviously when they see my Instagram, sometimes they see what I can do. So, but when I tell them point blank, hey, this is what you got to do, I am very simplistic and direct to what they got to do. Now, whether they actually adhere to that or not, that's up to them. But those select few that actually took that motivation and did their own thing, kudos to them. The other ones who just, I don't know, just showed curiosity, but they wanted to do their own little thing. They can't commit to a week of Tabo. They can't drink a gallon of water, whatever.
Facts.
As well as that.
I feel you. I feel you on that, man. 100%. I can agree. I can definitely relate to, like, for me, like, it's usually when I'm very solid, when I'm grounded, and when I really believe, in my heart that something is serious. You know what I'm saying? It's like people can feel that energy. And I know. I be hearing some of the stuff that you say, Brian. So I already know, like, you definitely tapped in with energy and on a spiritual level, and I think
Yeah.
there's definitely a such thing as divine masculinity and divine femininity, and I think when we move in that energy, it does, it causes us to move with a force. So that's why I think it's very important too for men, like for us to embrace masculinity and to really understand what that means, because it makes us more powerful on the earth, and we can get more shit done, and we could actually do things way more effectively if we're moving in the right energy. So, like, man, that's one reason right there why I think masculinity is very important in all those areas: relationships, work, business. It's because you're moving in such a powerful force, and it's powerful, but it doesn't take away the power of femininity. Femininity is just as powerful. You know what I'm saying? But we talking about masculinity right now. So, but yeah. So salute to my man Just King. He said, what's up, Just King? Salute, man. Glad you're here at the podcast, brother. And this podcast is literally meant to inspire men to embrace their masculinity. And the biggest thing that I'm gonna push on this, especially every season, is listen, every king, right? Every man is the king of his own world, right? Every man is the king of his own world. So we have to build our kingdom. Our own world is our king, man. Our kingdom. And we are all the king of our kingdom. So I believe that all men are meant to be kings. That's one of the reasons why I call this podcast Virility King, and why I'm trying to encourage people, because I think we are all meant to be kings, simply because of what we do, what we're responsible for, what it is in our life that we pretty much have dominion over. That's our world. So we're all kings of our own world and what we want it to be like. So, I just want to encourage, we all want to encourage men to do the same. And I think we all should really be the king of our own world and build our own kingdoms,
Love it,
Um,
love it.
and then within me, my personal thing is I want my kingdom to be, the kingdom, of the kingdom of all kingdoms. You feel me? So not in a sense where I'm like, oh, I want my kingdom, everybody gonna worship me. Nah, I want my kingdom to be a part of the ultimate kingdom, the sovereign kingdom. You know what I'm saying? The kingdom of all kingdoms. So that's just how I view it, and that's my thing. I think we all are meant to be like that as men. So
I like that.
facts.
Kingdom.
Word up. So we got another comment, guys. So let's see. It says Michael Davis said, in the workplace, always use your best judgment and discretion, and don't be entrapped by the temptations of whatever. Stay professional at all times. It's okay to be humorous, but stay focused. Man, powerful gem, Michael.
Yeah.
Totally agree with that, brother. That's masculine. That's masculine in the workplace.
Super
If you
masculine.
think like that. A lot of guys might struggle with that. I've struggled with that shit. For sure. So all right, guys. Now, real quick, I'm just gonna do something real fast, y'all. In future episodes and stuff like that, I'm gonna have an actual video that I play, but I'm about to sponsor one of my products. Right, it's actually a natural testosterone support supplement. Right, it has all natural herbs in it. Pretty much, it's powerful. There's herbs in it that help with boosting your testosterone naturally. Also, herbs that help with balancing and modulating estrogen levels so that it don't get too high as your testosterone is increasing, like Cissus condragularis, hawthorn berries, chrisin, some powerful herbs. So I just want to, just do a quick plug on that, guys. If any men are watching right now and you're interested in that, go to superhumanlabs.store and you can actually grab Virility. You could save 10% just by clicking bundling too. If you want to bundle, you can save 10 extra percent. But it's a great supplement, getting great reviews on it, and just want to spread that good information out there, guys. Virility is changing men's lives, so just want to put that out there. All right. Now that I did the shameless plug, we can move on with the show. All right. So, and I'm gonna put the website on the screen while we talking. All right. So, all right. So now we're gonna move along to the next thing. So, ways. Now this is a good one. This is when we're gonna get into the gems. This is when we're gonna start talking about the things that we think we can really, help other men with. What are some ways to increase masculinity? What are some ways to increase masculinity? Who want to go first? Anybody of y'all want to go dive in first? What's up?
Big Brian, take this.
All right. Repeat the question one more time.
All right. And if need be, I can go first, guys. If y'all need a second, because y'all know this is what I do. So, I mean, I can definitely go first if y'all want. But ways to increase masculinity. You know what I'm saying? What are some ways
All
to increase masculinity?
right. Obviously, let's point to that one that you just posted up on the screen. Obviously boosting your testosterone, that's going to be one. And I think that's one that I use a lot because I do use herbs. I do take tonka and I do take maca root and I do take other herbs to help boost my masculinity, my testosterone, make sure my
How do you like
testosterones
Tonkat
are
Ali?
running high.
I don't mean to cut you off, but how
I,
do you
lo- I
like
love it.
Tonkat Ali?
I love it, bro. I've noticed a big difference just even in the gym. My testosterone levels seem higher, like even after work. How you kind of have that tired feeling. I noticed that I don't really get that sluggish feeling that often.
Hmm.
So I do feel like it's been working for me a lot, and especially like I don't know. I noticed my libido's crazy. So I mean, obviously it's working.
Man, that's awesome. Yeah, I
That
hear
that's
great things
that's how
about
I feel
Tonkat Ali.
about it.
Yeah, I bet you
And
love
but I
that,
mean,
bro.
another one I would recommend though for men is just getting in the gym, man. I feel like a lot of people, a lot of men nowadays ain't really staying active. They just kind of sit down and just chill and not really do nothing. I mean, whether that's even running, going outside, just being active. I feel like a lot of men are taking that initial like that laziness route. I just want to sit on that couch and just eat stuff and just chill. I feel like that's another reason why like going to the gym anyway for me or just staying active in general helps boost masculinity.
Definitely, man. Totally agree
I mean,
with
those
that.
those,
Yeah, I
those
think
are my two biggest ones for sure. Two biggest ones. I'd say meditating is probably my third, just because it helps me balance my energies, helps me balance my day, helps me stay focused for my day. It helps me reassure basically my manifestations, my visions, everything that I got going on. Whether that's through my day, through my month or through my year, whatever I'm focused on that meditation, I try to bring clarity to it. So definitely clarity and meditation or anything that can help bring clarity is a win.
bro, that's powerful. Super powerful, man. I totally agree with that. Yeah, those things are super duper powerful in increasing masculinity naturally. Working out, training, getting stronger, feeling stronger. Um, yeah, and then meditation, balancing, like you said, balancing your hormones, balancing your mind, a number of things that can help you feel a lot more grounded. That's powerful, man. What you think, Brian? I mean, what you think, Tony?
What I think about increasing masculinity is you have to learn how to humble yourself to your skill set. And on
Mm,
that note, develop that skill set, become the master of your craft. I'm going to go ahead and put the gym on the table there because once upon a time, 185 was heavy for me. But then,
mm.
and I was that. I think a lot of us dudes go through that. You're kind of nervous because you don't want to be around the guys who are already lifting weights before you. Or I don't want to, show off my body or anything like that. But then when you actually get in there, get your hands dirty, and feel the effects of the work, boom. What else? That's it. It was like, oh, if I keep doing this, I get stronger, I get faster, I get fitter, and it was a done deal for me.
Yep.
It might be a longer process for some people, but the sooner you start, the sooner you start to realize. And once you have that mental clarity and you focus and you master your craft, boom. And I believe that's one good way. And also, you got to learn how to temper your emotions. I'm not saying that you can't get upset, something can't bother you, but it's like you got to realize not to go be Simba and try to prove yourself.
Mm.
And you can't be Simba try to prove yourself. You got to realize, does this affect my body? Does this affect my money? If not, it's not a big deal. So we have to realize that we are modern day men. And I would also say, now this is going to be an unpopular opinion. Um,
Uh-oh.
before you get involved with serious relationships, especially when it comes to women, we have to learn how to get women off our mind. So I would say don't consider any kind of serious relationship at all up until at least the age of 30. Because I don't know, something about the age of 30 was magical for me. When I hit 30, it was like bullshit is out the table. I'm already good I know where I want to be, but at 30, it was like it became a sprint. Everything else, like get this shit off me. I can't wait. Let you weigh me down. Fuck that. Fuck that. I'm 30 years old. So just say that out loud. 30 years old. It's time to move
Mm,
like a man.
mm.
And yeah, that's about it. Start from the bottom and see
That's,
where you end
that's
up.
what I said. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's what I said. You have to get your hands dirty for sure. I agree with that 100%.
Like George Jefferson, like say back in the day, climb the ladder of success rung by rung. Don't skip. Don't look for a shortcut. Just climb the motherfucker.
Hell yeah,
Yep,
just go for it.
yep.
Straight up. Totally agree, man. Yo, I think, and y'all, man, those are powerful ways to view it and to think about it because a lot of it is mental too. I think it's mental. I think it's all of them, yo. I think it's mental, physical, and definitely spiritual. You know what I'm saying? Um, Definitely a spiritual thing. But like the biggest thing for me, and y'all touched on it too. Even some of the stuff that both of y'all was saying can increase testosterone in certain ways. I mean, scientifically, it's even proven. Taking certain actions, doing certain things, there can be some great spikes in your testosterone levels. A couple of things that I would actually put out there would be for one, getting more out in the sun, like getting in the sun. You know what I'm saying? Really getting time in the sun. Take your shirt off and let that sun hit you. Boom. You know what I'm saying? If you want to dig even deeper and you want to get right to it, take all your shit off. You know what I'm saying? And like, and then get that direct sunlight because it'll really help boost your vitamin D levels, man. There's studies that's actually been done concerning that too. And greater vitamin D, especially coming from the sun, is way more powerful in terms of your hormonal chemistry, and it can definitely increase testosterone. Also, cold showers. You know what I'm saying? Just getting in, feeling that cold, taking a break, going back, feeling that cold. Doing these different things can cause your body to have to pretty much go in homeostasis, where the body needs to actually warm back up after it gets cold that quick. And when your body is going through the shifting things like that, what it's going to do is it's going to cause your body to do a number of things. Homeostasis is one, but testosterone increases because it's just like if you was in a situation where you had to react. For men, our testosterone is one of the first things that'll say, poof. Why? To preserve ourselves, to protect ourselves. So, that's one thing that definitely has shown for, helping with depression and also boosting testosterone levels. Taking cold showers, bringing it back to warm, taking it back to real cold. You could even go extreme with it and take ice baths. You know what I'm saying? Get in the ice for about 10 minutes, get out, however you want to do it. But that's another way too to increase masculinity. Also doing shit. And Tony, I know you was talking about it, but like doing shit, like doing stuff that you might be afraid to do or feel very anxious about doing, do it anyway. Or, playing competitive sports. Like, yo, I played basketball yesterday, man, and I was out there shitting on dudes, bro. It's been a minute since I even played ball. I'm like, damn, man, I didn't know I still had it like that. You know what I'm saying? I'm crossing dudes
I
over,
see you
fade.
post that on your IG.
Yeah, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm
What?
dunking and stuff. I'm like, what? Where did these skills? I mean, I knew I was good, but I didn't know I was like. I'm like, damn, you know. But I actually felt it. I felt like that competitive spirit coming in. I could feel like a boost of my testosterone. It's like you could feel it, yo. Like, and I don't want to get too long with it, y'all. But if it's TMI, guys, though, you don't got to answer, right? I'm real though, man. I'm very authentic. I try my best to just keep it 100 with shit, but keep it real. Like, if you having sex, right, or you doing something sexual, and you're really enjoying yourself, right? Can't you kind of feel that vibe? Like I'm talking about when you're really enjoying it and it's amazing. Can't you kind of feel this boost of kind of like I don't know. Maybe it's just me, but I I think that got to do with testosterone, bro. I think it's this like I think your testosterone levels are literally shooting up in that moment, especially when you start to feel like it depends. Everybody's different, you know what I'm saying. But if it's really legit and you going through these changes, you could feel it biologically, man. I think that testosterone is increasing because it's even studies on that. When you're having sex with a woman, that boosts your testosterone more because the body and the mind can tell the difference between playing with your joint by yourself
Yeah.
and actually having sex with a woman. That actually can boost your testosterone levels more just by having sex with a woman because you're achieving something, that achievement. So like you were saying, Tony, get out there and do something, but literally do things that may make you feel anxious. Do it anyway. Yo, I don't condone this, but fighting. Fighting, man. I mean, I don't say do it, you know what I'm saying? Don't do it, but if you find yourself in a situation where you have to defend yourself because somebody's trying to harm you, defend yourself, and you'll definitely notice something. You know, you'll definitely. I think that it'll definitely increase your masculinity because you were able to defend yourself and you were able to achieve that self-defense. You know, so there's a number of things that can be done. Creating shit. And
I
going
definitely
for
had
Priorities,
a
other
right?
things.
definitely had a lot of that when I was the CEO. You know, everybody's trying to be the tough guy, and you, the CEO, have to be the lion amongst the lions.
Mm,
So, yeah, had to go hands on a couple times too.
I'm
But
sure.
I try to have it in that professional mindset. Every situation will get handled accordingly. Ain't nothing between us but air and opportunity. What you want to do?
I'm
I'm
sure.
sorry.
I'm sure Tony, you was putting dudes on their neck. I already know. I can already imagine.
I
Like you
can see
probably just was just grab yoking dudes up like boo.
it.
Only if the situation dictated. Now, I will say this about my time. Just one last little note on that is
Yeah.
because I set the tone. I didn't come in there. I wasn't be your friend, and I wasn't trying to be timid. Even though this is the first time me doing this stuff, I was
Mm,
there to do the job. And the inmates, a lot of them mostly tried to do the little nitpicking, try to see what they can get from you. And when it was no across the board, they adapted to me. And then you know you're winning if you're a CEO and you know you're winning the battle when you start getting the inmates to do self correction. You just look at somebody. Hey, he's not moving around enough. You see that other dude. Hey man, go ahead and start moving. When you see that, you win. You're winning.
mm.
You got that moving?
Facts.
Yeah, it's you're either walking or you're sitting. You're doing your laps or you're sitting or go on yourself when we're doing rec time. You're not just standing around in like an off corner somewhere. Nope, you keep moving or sit down on one of these tables. Uh, that was a too long ago, but that was a different mindset.
Nah, I respect that though. You got, I mean, with a job like that, man, and you're amongst other, lines. I mean, you're amongst people who breaking the law. Like they are literally, danger to society. So yeah, you're gonna have to maneuver like that. You know what I'm saying? So I shoot. I totally get that. All right, we got a couple more comments, man. I'm gonna go ahead and hit some of these comments. We got Michael Davis again. He got a couple comments that he put up. He said, constantly working on oneself and exercising humility is key. Facts. All men of greatness came from humble beginnings. Super facts. And real quick, that's the thing that I want to say too. Guys, if you coming from a humble beginning, if you relate to some of these things that's quote unquote toxic masculinity, if you don't feel real secure with yourself, it's okay. Okay? A lot of us had different upbringings. A lot of us have been through different things. Y'all wouldn't imagine some of the shit that I've been through in my life. And I'm thankful to God that I was able to overcome it, right? But I struggled with a lot of these insecurities, yo. Like I dealt with a lot of these things, and it took time, man. But as time progressed and as I developed as a man, you know, you figure it out. Once you start to learn right, you do right. Once you start to learn right, you feel right. So don't worry, guys. Just keep watching our podcast, keep doing your own research, keep reading, man, and grow and understand what it means to be a man. Understand the truth about what it means to be a man, and let go of this false narrative that's being passed around in the world. You know what I'm saying? That's
Amen
what
to
we're
that.
here for. All right, he said diet as well is key in increasing your T levels. Fact. Oh, that's super key. That's most of the situation. Diet is definitely key. Let me see. All right, Dom, he said, all right, fellas, heading off to sleep now, 11 p.m. in the UK. All right, man. Yeah, my man, I meant to tell y'all, too, my man, Dom, he's actually from the UK. He was going to be in the podcast, but, he got a lot going on, which is understandable. But, yeah, all right, Dom, man, salute, man. Have a good one, yo, for sure.
Sure.
So, yeah, man, but bet. So we already pushing about an hour and about 5 minutes. Look how that time went by quick, man. When you in the
Super
zone,
quick.
man. When you doing what you do, you know what I'm saying? It just go quick. So that's dope. All right. So real quick, now we're gonna move on to the next one. Women, right? Now this is a good one. Women walking in masculine energy. This one, ooh. This was my childhood, man. So yeah. So Tony, you could do us the justice, brother. And you can come in and let it be known what you think about this, bro.
All right. My mother, raised in a single mother household too. And I want to say I was lucky when it came to my mother. She was more of a tomboy. So she wasn't like a little silly princess or one of these butches trying to be like a man and compete with a man. Look what a woman can do. Nah, she wasn't anything like that. If anything, if she walked in masculine energy, she was a responsible adult, but assertive. She tried to avoid situations, and it was about she had to take care of her two sons. A lot of those wayward father situations, blah blah blah. But she had to do her job, and that was more important, and that made an impact in my life because I didn't get shown, unlike a lot of other men, they got shown a feminine woman who praises her own vagina, who oversells
Mm,
it, or one of these butches who just like, yeah, women gotta be on top. She didn't teach that to her son. If anything, she gave me my first doses of red pills. Um,
word.
Especially the one advice about wearing a condom 100% of the time and always bring your own. My mother told me that.
Man, you
And
blessed.
now that's my baseline. As I explore into the world a little bit, I realize a lot of women are more girly than my mother showed me. So, they all, oh, I can't do this, or this is too much. I'm like, are you being just a little pussy right now? And so that was my mindset coming to a lot of women, and they can't compete with that. I'm sorry, but the woman I was raised with isn't a pussy like that. Either you get the job or get out of the way, let somebody else do it. And then going into the workplace a little bit, where you see women who try to be alpha, they actually are false alphas. They're the equivalent of their highest level of masculinity is the equivalent of our lowest level of masculinity. That young upstart who needs to prove himself. That's how the alpha females roll. And
Facts.
and they usually have to have the college degree, the high paying job, the CEO status, blah, 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 to hide behind it just so she knows she has an army to back her up with her bullshit. And it's all an ego trip with them rather than more of a, okay, are you actually the best person for this job? And I think there's way too many women who are spoiled by that. And a lot of men, because we don't want to be combative with women per se, it's like we have this an uphill battle, especially if she's just doing it for pure ego. I had a supervisor and she let it known that her cottage was more important than her fucking job.
Mm.
What? If you're on the clock, I can see you squeezing in your college time when it's necessary or when you can. But when that phone rings and you got to do your job and you're the one in charge, do your fucking job.
Yeah.
But but you can't tell her that because she'll turn around and be all sassy and loud. And I see how she wants to be combative back and forth. I'm like, yeah, I got to keep my playfulness a minimum away from you. But why don't you sign my paycheck when my time sheet when I bring it to you? I don't need you any further than that. I got this.
Yeah, shit. That's a fact, bro. It's a lot of them out there. And I totally agree with you. Like a
Yeah,
lot of
I
this
see a
whole
lot of
woman's
that.
alpha stuff, this woman alpha stuff. Yeah, I mean, if you want to say, okay, there's women who may be alpha among other women, I guess we could kind of say that to a certain sense. But why a woman? I just don't think that women are biologically built to walk in an alpha sense anyway. But yeah, man, I
If
agree with
anything,
that.
if anything, she should be guiding other women to be women. If she can't keep it straight civilian mode, this is our jobs, this is what we need to do. I'm just here to double check on you, man. Keep it moving. If she can't do that, it's just a big ego trip. I'm the one in charge. You got to do what I say. I butted heads with one of my supervisors on that notion. I was like, you know what? If you got nothing to tell me about my job right now, I'm gonna go. I hung up on her ass. Oh
That's what
man.
that is. I agree. I think that's what it is. This alpha female shit is just women walking in masculine energy. Period. That's what I think it is. They're choosing to do it. Like it's a choice.
But the sad thing, a lot of them can't do it. Is that they don't do it with. If they were doing it with the purpose of the job, I could follow you. You're the one in charge right now. You're telling me directions for the benefit of the job. Good to go. But if you're just doing it for show, and then you can't pull your own weight because you need a whole fucking army of people behind you, really, really. But okay, we'll let you have your little fantasy, little girl.
And that's really
What you
how it
think, Brian?
goes.
What you think, Brian? What you think, B?
But basically, what Tony said, I mean, I still feel like I see a lot of those females out here that are just trying to play alpha or like trying to tell you what to do, even though they don't got that umph or they ain't got that kick, and they don't. You can see it right through them. So
Mm-hmm.
I feel like that's very powerful. I mean, I would say too. I feel like some women, um, I feel like lead with their emotions too much. They could, you know what I'm saying, think logically on some things like you were talking about, how it would help bring awareness to their situation. Because I
Mm-hmm.
feel like sometimes they get too emotional, too, down on themselves, or like, they feel like they can't do it because they don't feel protected or they don't have the foundation or whatever the case. So I feel like if they were just to think stuff logically and really start to think like what they could do to be better, I feel like they'd have a lot more success.
Man, facts. I totally agree with that, man. Well said, brother. That's real shit. And shoot, me. I think, man, women walking in masculine energy. So to kind of go back to what Tony was saying, because my mom too, like, I grew up. I was raised by my mom, and my mom. Whew, I mean, when I say she walked in the fullness of that, that I believe that's one of the reasons why. And I love my mom to death. Let me make sure I say that first. Disclaimer. But I think that's one of the reasons why my dad, like left. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's one of the biggest things that mess a lot of women up when they walk in masculinity, especially with relationships, and especially with masculine men. I think that they maneuver in that type of energy, which is actually toxic. It ain't really masculine. It's just toxic energy in a woman. You know what I'm saying? And it causes a lot of issues for them. You know what I'm saying? It puts them in a terrible situation. They end up messing a lot of their relationships. But my mom, she went through a lot of things in her childhood, so I totally understand why she was moving in that type of energy. I think she just wanted to really protect herself. I think she wanted to be more safe, And I think a lot of women are insecure when they move in that energy too. I think it comes from a very serious insecurity, just like men. When we're moving in this energy that's supposedly toxic masculinity, it really comes from insecurity. These men are insecure men. So they're doing all
Yeah.
of the stuff that they're doing to feel more secure. They're doing all the stuff that they're doing to feel more safe. And I think that women do the same. So, like, I've seen my mom knock men out, guys. I've seen my
Jeez.
mom literally knock dudes out cold. I seen my mom beat up one of her friends.
Okay.
And I mean, it even got to a point where after she beat her friend up, her friend came back with her son, And back then I probably was like 12 and her son was like 16, 17, so he's older than me. And he came back with a gun, right? So I see the dude and I see him with a gun. I didn't know for sure if he had one, but then I started looking. He started tucking for something and he pulled it out. I pulled my mom in the house and he shot right when I was pulling her. Pow, shot. And he grazed my mom in the butt, man. And I pulled her in the house and threw her in the house and shut the door. Now, mind y'all, man, I was 12 years old. That's a crazy responsibility for a 12-year-old, right?
Damn.
Wow.
But that's what I mean when I say, like, I've been through some very traumatic things that caused me to move in certain ways and in certain energies that wasn't very masculine, because all I knew was trauma. All I knew was insecurity. All I knew was uncertainty in the way I was brought up. And I think a lot of men are dealing with that too. That's another reason why I do this podcast. But I say all of that to say this. A lot of women are putting themselves in terrible positions when they moving in that masculine energy. They end up hurting themselves. They end up hurting their kids. They end up ruining marriages. They end up ruining relationships. And it's just terrible, man. It's toxic and it's terrible. And hopefully women can really learn and understand that they are creating their outcomes when they move in that energy, that fraudulent masculinity. So yeah, I ain't want to get too deep on y'all, but you know, it is what it is. Huh?
Okay, one more thing on that. I hear a lot of times that a lot of men are willing to be stay-at-home husbands, and the reason they think this, even though I'm against it, like, because I'm bringing about masculinity, no, you need to be a provider and protector, but I'll give them the point that it's a logical position. If you got your wife out there making all the money, all you got to do is clean the house, play with the kids. Yeah, that's why I can't argue it logically. And then I'm looking at women. Y'all have that option by default, but you want to give it up because you're trying to prove something. Why?
Yeah.
Exactly. That is a big thing. That's actually something huge that's happening. A lot of women, and you're right. They want to prove something. Ever since the whole movement started, where anything you can do, I can do better. I can do anything better than you. No, you can't. When that shit came out, that's when the fuckery started. It was back in the 50s. It was back in the late 50s or early 60s, one or the other. And that shit, they popularized the hell out of that. The media pushed that. And matter of fact, it really, really started back. What war was that? I don't know if it was World War II, when a lot of the men got drafted and the women actually had to work here. They had to fucking get suited and booted, and they was in the factories working. Y'all know what I'm talking about?
On that note, the situation dictated. So I can't blame them or feel sorry for them for loosening up and adapting to the situation. But after the men got home and the baby boomers started kicking up, it was like they got that inch, and now they want a mile. And
they felt what it felt like. They seen what that felt like, and they got to experience it. And I think that it was just led by pride and led by a number of things. Led by that feminine space, that insecure space. They man is gone. Yeah. They over across seas. They man fucking Rhonda and Ling Ling and Ching Chang.
Ching Chang and Ling Ling.
Oh, not Ling Ling.
And they at home, they either fucking the mailman or they either just insecure and scary. So when they felt that type of power, they like, oh shit, okay. So wait, I can be like a man. Do I really need a man? And that's when the bullshit started, I think. That's when the fuckery really started. When a woman questioned herself, do I really need a man? It's like, the fuck is you talking about? Are you crazy? You need it. The world wouldn't even exist if it wasn't for men. This civilization would not be doing shit if there were no men in this world. Women would be going fucking ballistic, statistically.
And I believe men need to understand that about themselves. So I'm trying to tell men, hey, it's time for us to walk away from the table. Stop feeling like we need female validation. We need to listen to what mom and them always said about respecting women. No, you're a man. You're the provider protector. If she doesn't want to know her role, that's fine. You will survive without her. You can't say the same thing about her. And they know it.
Facts, brother. Super facts. That women don't what I think what's happening, and I can't wait because we're gonna definitely do an episode about this, and I'm bringing women on the show, and they're gonna get this work, and hopefully, I ain't gonna let us hurt no women, but at the same time, they're gonna get this work. But I think if they would just listen, if they would just listen to us and really understand that we want I think as men we're looking for the overall ultimate goal and outcome that's good for all of us. Would y'all agree on that?
I believe so.
Yep.
I think that that's what we want, man. And I think if women would just listen to what it is that we're presenting, that's our masculinity. I think that they'd be better off. I think they'd be better off. They wouldn't be going through so much issues, trauma, bullshit, stress, struggling. And then men would be more successful too if women could just get on accord with that. Because then we wouldn't have to deal with fighting and going through all the trauma and the toxicity with a lot of these types of women that move in that energy. We'd be more successful. We'd have more successful families and all that, man. So totally agree with that, y'all. So I know this episode is definitely pushing. But we could definitely touch on this last topic here and then
Give
wrap
me
it up.
one second, y'all. Give me 1 second.
Okay.
I got to use restroom real quick.
All right, brother. Yeah, just let me know. I'll see you when you come back and I'll throw you back in, bro.
All right.
All right. So cool, Tony. So look, man, we can keep it rolling. So here's a big one. So I was talking to this very intelligent girl, man. It was a chick that I went to Job Corp with. Very smart, very intelligent. She's married. But she kind of started giving her perspective on masculinity. And her main thing was, well, she's tired of men who feel like their masculinity is being attacked. And she's tired of men pretty much going forth with what they think is masculinity. And when someone says something concerning that behavior, they act or they respond erratically because they feel like it's being attacked. Though I don't disagree with it, with what she's saying to a certain degree, I understand where she's coming from, but the thing is what she's talking about isn't masculinity. And that was the main point I was trying to point out to her. I'm like, yo, the stuff that you're saying that I guess the person you're talking about is trying to say, hey, this is masculinity and you're trying to attack it. It ain't masculinity to begin with. So with all that being said, she said masculinity is subjective. Now, how could I say it? I understand where she's coming from to a certain degree, right? By saying it's subjective because, yes, everybody will have their own subjective view on what they think masculinity is. But what I was trying to get her to understand is like, yo, masculinity is masculinity at the end of the day. You know what I'm saying? And I think, yes, it does kind of come from societal and traditional views concerning that. So, I mean, to a certain extent, I understand why she might think it's subjective. But anyway, what do you think about that, bro? Do you think that masculinity is subjective?
Do I think it's subjective?
Yeah.
I think, given our current place in time and how modern we are, and a lot of the struggles that we don't have to face anymore, we got access to water, easy access water to food, especially here in America, where in a first world country. So, because of that, the first world status, it seems like making masculinity and femininity subjective is another first world issues, which is another reason why we're facing the drama that we are right now, because people have lost sight of their role. We've given in too much to the easy life where the masculine and feminine roles can be played by both people. And although because of our modern times, it can be subjective, but the fact that we treat it as such is the problem. So I think we need to not treat it as subjective. This is a man's role. This is a female's role. And the more you adhere to it, the less problems that you actually have. You look at the workplace. When you go to your job and you do your job, know your role, where's the drama? It's the same. It's the same thing when it comes to masculine and feminine. You know your role, and I will say this: the situation sometimes dictates where, okay, like the women having to go out to the workforce, where like today, a woman, she can do a basic ass job part time at Dollar General, still live at her parents' house, and if she's basically hot enough and womanly enough, She goes to a fancy ass bar, a successful man will be willing to pick her up. So does she need to put herself in the struggles of I gotta go to college, put myself in X amount of debt just to get a higher paying job, and just to want a man to pay more than what I make? Look how much you're putting yourself in this mental stress for no reason. And men, when you focus on, and we know there's a lot of women out there who are on that page, leave them alone. They're not the women you want. They're not submissive. They're trying to be masculine. They're trying to be your competition. You don't want to be in bed with your competition. If you run into a woman who's honestly on that page and have that energy, bye. As somebody else like to say, take your dick and go home. Like, just we got to have a standard, even though it may be subjective. We all got to have a standard. So if the alpha females, you can't mess with masculine men paying more than you. You need a submissive man, someone to put on a dress and he's willing to make the sandwich for you. If you're going to be the top dollar maker.
Yeah.
And masculine men, you need to put yourself. You need to build your, like you said before, build your own castle. Be the king of your castle. And if a woman doesn't want her know her place in the castle you built, you're fired. You still got a castle. You good. Bye.
Anytime, listen, when we get these chicks on here, they start talking stupid. Bye. Straight up. Oh shit, he hit the parade wave, like bye. But yeah, shoot, straight up. Now that's some real shit, Tony. Like for real. I totally agree with that. I definitely think that it shouldn't be subjective. And you hit it on the nose. It shouldn't be. Simply because of the benefits that come with divine masculinity and divine femininity, and when these roles are being exercised as they should be, as we are naturally created to exercise them. Like if we want to really get technical or even biological, we got dicks, right? So we urinate out of our dicks. Women, they have clitorises, so they urinate out of their clitorises, right? That's how we were created by design, in my personal opinion. Some people don't think that we're created. That's a whole nother ballgame, but so it is what it is at the end of the day. It shouldn't be subjective. It shouldn't, masculinity should not be subjective. It should be a clear set world universal law that this is masculine, this is feminine. Mm-hmm. And I think that's why I'm doing this podcast too. We doing this podcast, and we need to have more podcasts and more conversations like this to, make that clear. You know what I'm saying? Because
make it obvious.
Yeah, because I got 2 daughters, man. God bless me with 2 daughters. So I understand the importance of my role, and I understand my responsibility for them. I have to teach them what it is that men want. I have to teach them. I'm not necessarily going to be able to teach them how to be feminine. That's their mother's job. But I could at least teach them what kind of man they should go after, what masculinity is, and what healthy masculinity is, and what healthy femininity is, and what a man really wants in a woman. I can teach my daughters that. I'm not one of these dudes out here that's disconnected with reality and like, oh man, I don't want my daughters to ever meet somebody. No, fuck that. I know eventually they are going to meet somebody, and I want to prepare them for that shit, and I want to make sure that they meet the right person. I don't want them to, build with the wrong man. You know what I'm saying? I don't want them, because at the end of the day, they my legacy. If I'm going to give my daughters away to somebody, I want to make sure I build them up in a way where they know who to go find. You know what I'm saying? Or at least who to be chosen by, because it's very masculine, of course, for us to select the woman that, that we want to marry. So that's getting deeper. But yeah, I don't think that it should be subjective at all. I think we should all have a common understanding all across the globe that, hey, this is masculine, this is feminine, and all that toxic shit is not masculinity. All that toxic shit is not femininity. And just leave it at that. What you think, Brian?
100%. It should be clear as day. I feel like I feel like a lot of females and a lot of our upbringings have kind of, changed the narrative in a lot of our lives and situations. I feel like now it's time to gain our control back and our masculinity back. Well, for us as men, anyway. I know females need to do the same on their end. That's not our job. Our job is to make sure that we holding it down on the masculine side, showing, setting the example, being the example, and just leading by it.
Facts, man. I appreciate the way that you like, the way you, Brian. He say stuff. He make it sound like so easy how he say it. It's smooth though. I like how you be doing that shit. That shit is dope. It was just sum it up in a couple words. Boom, 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 boom. You smooth with it, like and such and boom, boom, boom. That shit is masculine too, man. You know what I'm saying? Somebody, and I'm gonna say this real quick. This dude caught me off guard. I never thought of it like this way, guys. I never thought of it like that. Do y'all know who Maxwell is? I know you know Tony because you 34, so I know Tony know who Maxwell is. That's a stupid question.
Maxwell. Can you give me a little reminder or a little hint?
Okay, he's an R&B singer, neo soul. Maxwell.
I might, if you hum a few bars, I might.
Okay. What's the song? Was it boom? No, I ain't gonna do the beat because that'll throw you off. You're gonna be like, "What the hell is he doing?" He got one song. He got a song called "Pretty Wings." He got another song called "If You Don't Know, Then I'll See You." So don't ever wonder. Don't ever wonder. Something, 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 something. You're the highest of the high. You might not. Well, you might not know who Maxwell is. Damn, I'm surprised.
I am a hermit at times, so freaking if it's not like a big ass hit that hit everybody in the face, I probably don't know it.
Word. Okay, that's cool. I mean, he was popping back. He was popping back in like early 2000s, late 90s. But anyway, he's more of a smoother guy. You know what I'm saying? So he's not necessarily what you would consider like, I guess the societal standards of like macho, like, yeah, like mother, I'm taking over the world, He's kind of more like, he the type that'll walk in there, come in there smooth and see a chick and be like, hey, I like that dress you got on. He's more smooth. And and this guy, because I was singing one of his songs and I was like, I was like, wait, I'm starting to, hold up. I want to step away from my masculinity. And he was like, nah. He was like, there's masculinity and smoothness and being smooth. He was like, nah, you could be smooth and masculine. And I thought about it. I'm like, you know what? He right.
Mm-hmm.
You can be smooth and masculine. So I kind of feel like that's kind of like how Brian is. You know what I'm saying? Brian smooth with it, but you can, there's a such thing as that. Being kind of like,
I appreciate that.
No problem, bro. But just kind of thinking about, just being deceived by society. You know how society is. Have you thinking that smoothness is soft? You know how but nah.
No, not really. Because if you come in with that confident swagger, that's what the cool kids call it nowadays. You come in with that confident swagger and just lay it down smooth like butter. It's like, oh my, okay, let's do this. I got one. Have y'all seen that one commercial with this? It's called Checking the Cash. Have y'all seen that commercial?
Yeah, I've heard of it.
That dude's voice is like, you know what? Take my money. That's I want to. He's like, yeah, just 1-900 checking the cash. You rate. And I'm like, okay.
Look, got you questioning like, oh shit, maybe I should do it.
Yes, it's like, he might have a point. He didn't say it right correctly, but
damn. A dude got a good voice. If he got another man, like, damn, that voice is actually nice. Like, God dang, like, what the hell? Yeah, that's crazy.
I'll just buy it. I'll just buy it.
Word. Well, yeah, man. Shoot, man. I'm glad, man. I think this was definitely an awesome first episode, man. I feel like we touched on some real key stuff. Yeah, I really enjoyed it with you guys, man. I'm super excited for the following episodes that we're gonna have, man, with this podcast. It's only gonna get better and better. It's only gonna get bigger and better. But yeah, I think we did a good job. You know what I'm saying? I think we did a good job at tackling some of these main points for the people and for the viewers. Shoot, before we wrap this episode up, y'all got anything y'all want to say?
Go ahead,
I
Tony.
do believe. Okay, I do
Well,
believe this. The day you become a real man is the day you no longer feel the need to prove it. You let the results speak for themselves. Then it is what it is. You walk in
facts,
that. You walk in that mindset confidently. Now you a man.
facts,
Yeah,
facts. Powerful,
yeah.
man. What about you, B?
I like I said, for me, it's intellect over emotion. I always like to think things through. I tend not to let my emotions side pick up on things. So I would say intellect over emotion.
Powerful, man. Powerful. Yeah, definitely, man. Intellect over emotions. Powerful. Controlling yourself. Not being led by your emotions. Um, but I do want to say one thing about that. We don't want to be fully led by our emotions, but our emotions are a great signal for us to understand that something might not be right or something's not going well. If we feel triggered, it is something for us to learn from, but it's not something for us to be led by. So I totally agree with that, bro.
Yeah,
100%.
yeah. No,
Um,
100%. Yeah, we definitely have to learn from our emotions. So yeah, I agree. I agree with that.
Shoot, I like to say. I tell a lot of young cats, don't think with your heart and don't think with your dick.
facts. Word up. Tony, man, Tony, let me tell you, this is one of the reasons why I asked you to be on the podcast too, man, because I knew you was gonna have these punchlines, bro. That's just gonna grab people by the neck and be like, yo, and I love that, man. That's dope. I like that delivery that you got, bro. That's dope. Dope as hell.
I appreciate you inviting me being part of this. This is great.
Facts, man. Well, look, man, I'm gonna finish it off, and the main thing I'm gonna say, and I'm gonna say this every episode, man. Listen, guys, most importantly, remember you are the king of your own world. Listen, build your kingdom and embrace your masculinity. When you embrace your masculinity, it'll further suit you to be able to build a great kingdom that you and your family and everybody that's around you will desire. So, look, y'all, until next time, man, salute. Hope y'all have a wonderful week, man. We will be back on next Sunday, 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time until further notice, man. So, look, y'all have a nice night. Salute. And until next time, man, salute, y'all.
Yes, sir. Take
Much
care.
love, y'all.